Hello everyone. Today I'm looking at these new set of ND polarized ND filters for the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom from Skyreat. They come as a set of 6 filters, ND 4, 8 and 16, with a polarized version of each of those as well. As they've only just become available on Amazon, I thought I'd have a little play about and have a look at the quality of them. Now before I do that, certainly for the Mavic 2 Pro with its adjustable aperture, it can easily be argued that there isn't actually a requirement for ND filters. And the reason for this is the three-way reliance between the ISO, the shutter speed and the aperture, and how you're aiming to get that shutter speed of around 1/50th to 1/60th of a second. However, the Mavic 2 Pro does have this variable aperture. The previous Mavic Pro had a fixed aperture of 2.4. Whereas the Mavic 2 Pro has a variable aperture that can be varied and adjusted between 2.8 up to 11. And using the aperture priority mode, you may well find that the shutter speed is reducing down enough as it is. However, these things are very subjective and often down to personal preference. And the bottom line is ND filters are always going to reduce the amount of light getting in, and that gives you more leeway to adjust the other settings to get exactly the effect that you want. So let's have a look at the construction of how these are built. So as I said, they come in a set of 6. You've got the ND 4, 8 and 16, and then the polarized version of the same numbers. They have a very sturdy box, and each one has its own place in this firm foam. So take the lens cover off the 2 Pro. Hold the camera quite firmly like that, and you can see at the side you've got a slight rounded element that actually gives you the grip, where you literally just hold and twist anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, and then it will just clip off as so. Keep in mind, one of the clips is larger to ensure that you get it the right way up. And as you'd expect, the filters have got exactly the same design to lock straight in place. So again, lining up the large lug with the hole, and holding it all flat, and it just clips into place like so. So as I said, they're pretty much the same size and weight as the lens cover that it's replacing, so it's not going to actually interfere with the startup. So rather than flying around on a bright sunny day, I actually wanted to do this very controlled setup to demonstrate just how basic and simple the whole idea of ND filters are. All you're doing is actually cutting down the amount of light that's hitting the sensor. And if you do that, it means that your aperture, your ISO and the shutter speed all have more leeway, and you can adjust them to get exactly the effect that you're after. So going into camera settings, taking it out of auto and putting it into aperture priority. That allows you to vary the aperture. You can see that on the 2.8 setting, it's adjusting itself to a 1/400th of a second shutter speed. So I said one of the key considerations is being able to adjust the aperture. And in this particular setup, I can actually adjust the aperture to an 8 stop, and there I hit my shutter speed of 1/50th. But obviously natural sunlight is far, far brighter than an indoor floodlight. So now let's try it with an ND filter. So with an ND 4 fitted, you can see on the 2.8 that the shutter speed is 1/80th. Now we only have to go down to an aperture of 4 before we hit the 1/50th. So obviously sunlight is going to be far, far brighter. You can see how adding the ND filter is going to give you that extra leeway to play around with the settings. So there you go, just a very quick video today. I just wanted to give you a close-up of these filters from Skyreat. I have to say I am impressed. You know, the aluminium and glass build is they're very well made. Can be argued whether or not you're going to make much use of the polarizer as much as the standard ND filters, but considering you get the set of 6 for around $70, £70, you've at least got the choice to have a good play with them. I'll put the links below for these, and you can check them out for yourself. Either way, until next time, have fun and happy flying, guys.